Hey everybody, today is June 25th, 2021. I'm Gene.
And I'm Zane.
And welcome to Hanging with Uncle.
How's it going, man?
Man, I had a very interesting week, man.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. You've been on a trip.
We went to Frisco, the Bay Area this weekend.
Awesome.
And which is where we got today's celebratory strain from.
That's right.
So this is cookies and cream.
Oh, it's some
and
good stuff.
I've had cookies and cream before, but not like this. This one is testing at 36%, and I love it. I can taste it like on the side of my tongue.
They say the quality in California is a little bit better. So yeah, I can see their cookies being better than ours. You know.
Well, so this is the second time I've gone there and brought a little treat back, and it's been head and shoulders above anything else we've gotten here. So
it's been 2 for 2, right?
Maybe more trips out west are on the way.
Let's see. Hey, I'm ready to start it up, so let's hit this. Let's get it going. So I want to start with my little topic today. You know me, I love political statements, especially political statements that go, right. The ex-NRA chief, I honestly don't know his name.
Wayne LaPierre. Oh, it's not Wayne LaPierre.
David. No. What was his name? Anyways.
David Keene.
Yes, thank you. David Keene. So David Keene was expected to go do a speech in Las Vegas with about 3,044 in company and prepped a speech, practiced everything with an empty stadium, came back out with his official speech, still to an empty stadium.
Poetic justice. So,
he did have a speech, where he talked about, the Second Amendment and how it's being crushed and how, hopefully some of you can still withhold our Second Amendment and keep it going. But without him knowing that the representation of the 3,044 empty white chairs that are there were children that are supposed to graduate this year, but were dead due to gun violence.
So he gave a speech to an empty room just to talk about guns?
Yes, mainly, yeah. Well, to talk about graduating that they didn't get to because of gun violence. But he also wanted to remind them to withhold the Second Amendment. It's not like the Second Amendment is being destroyed. We just want checks. That's it.
I think
that's all we want.
I would like the Supreme Court to give us clarification on exactly what the Second Amendment means, because everybody has their own interpretation, and I believe everyone uses it only to serve themselves instead of what the legislative intent is behind the right to bear arms.
And I believe I've said it on this show before. You need a license to drive a car. You need a license to drive a forklift. You need a license to drive a boat. You need a license to fish in a lake. There are these other things that you require a license for that I don't see people bitching about. But what is wrong with getting a license for your gun and getting it checked and getting yourself checked before using it? Right. I consider it heavy machinery.
It does not infringe on your Second Amendment rights because you still get the fucking weapon. So
exactly. It's still yours overall. You still have it. Just go and get it registered. Be like, hey, you still have your gun? Does it still work? You go and get your car checked. You get emissions checked.
As a gun owner, I know that if my gun were stolen for whatever reason, I would have the serial number, and I would like to know, number one, who stole my gun if it was ever found and used in a crime. And,
I'm sure it'll get returned to you. And then if it's damaged or whatever, they know, oh, this is the rightful owner. Their gun was damaged. You probably have insurance for now because you have checks for your gun. You can get your gun re-established to you free of charge because of your insurance. You know what I mean? I don't understand the issue with it. They don't want to take your guns. They want it to be checked and make sure that you're okay to hold that heavy machine in your hand.
Yeah.
That's mainly for me, honestly. But, the speech was... Man, the speech was crazy, but check that out. I love a little poetic justice there. Yes, there is some backlash here and there from it, but the parents who organized this, their own son died, and I think it was the Parkland shooting. They said. So justice, I guess. I don't know, social in a way, but it was cool to read up on because a lot of people are being a little bit more creative with exploitation on certain matters and certain topics,
Yeah.
So, I got a big kick out of that. I'm going to hit this now.
That's a good story. All right. Well, my thing is something we're going to circle back on, something we talked about a few episodes ago, and that's COVID.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and be brief, and I'm going to try not to insult anybody because I'm not talking about any one person indirectly. But I was watching the news this week, and in Mesa County, Colorado, there has been a surge and outbreak of new COVID cases. And it's not just that it's COVID-19, but there's a lot of other factors that go along to this.
Okay.
Number one, this is Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert's district.
Sounds like an Anon person. Yeah.
She's a QAnon queen. She's one
great.
of those gun conspiracy nuts who thinks people are coming for your guns and is an anti-vaxxer and promotes bullshit like... they're going to mind control you if you get the vaccine, or you're going to get your DNA changed, or my favorite one, they're going to chip us. And as we talked about before, I have friends that are in the medical industry, medical doctors and registered nurses who volunteer at vaccination sites.
Right.
One of them is a veterinarian. They chip animals all the time.
Right.
Like cows. My cat is chipped.
Right, absolutely.
You
get your dog chipped in case
exactly.
It runs away. Yeah.
So the gauge needle that we get our vaccine in for COVID is a 25 gauge needle.
Okay.
It is physically impossible to chip a 25 gauge needle.
Okay.
That's like thinking, I could put a square peg in a round hole. It doesn't happen that way. So, enough with the you're getting chipped bullshit and fucking get vaccinated, because a majority of these new COVID cases that are filling the hospitals up are the brand new variant, the Delta variant. And as we talked about before, the only reason we have a Delta variant is because of selfish people that refuse to get vaccinated and allow this virus to mutate.
And so have it continue at least.
So, think of other people and stop with the Chicken Little shit. The sky's not falling. Go get vaccinated.
Right. I mean, it's hard for some people. Some people are allergic to the vaccine. Yes, understandably, you can't get the vaccine if you're allergic to it, of course.
Exactly.
Absolutely. We're not saying those who physically cannot go get it.
And I have good friends who right now, for whatever medical reason, cannot because of in the protein-based vaccine, there's a certain enzyme or something that
you can react to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when they develop the vaccine that does not have that enzyme, or
they even say I'm allergic to peanuts.
Yeah. There are qualifications. I'm talking about people that have no medical restrictions and are ignorant enough not to get vaccinated. Simple. All right, I'm done with my rant.
No, you're good. You are good. Let's talk about. I mean, we talked about. The NRA guy talking about, guns and all the nonsense. But Biden did sign a no-tolerance gun policy, right?
Yes, he did.
I mean, thankful. Like, that's a good thing, correct? Because, I mean, if you can't pass those checks, I mean, it's no tolerance. It's a one-strike thing, right?
Right.
So, cool. I mean, and also, that's all I know about it. I mean, I was hoping you would know something more about it.
I know that he's working in conjunction with the Justice Department on this, and that's where the teeth in the enforcement will be. So, for example, if there's a gun salesman out there who, like at a gun show, through the loophole, sells a gun to somebody without doing a background check,
not being licensed,
and they should not have a gun for whatever reason. They're either mentally ill or a convicted felon or convicted of domestic abuse.
They can fall back on them too.
Now they actually have some teeth to go at these people. So definitely kudos. It's time we started somewhere on the issue.
I'm hearing he's enforcing it higher in certain states right now, just to see kind of like the reaction to it. I guess like it's going to be a no tolerance thing all throughout the country, but certain states are going to get kind of more of an enforcement for it, just to see how it reacts to the gun violence, numbers. Well, see how those react to it.
And see, that's just it. I think that's probably the biggest problem with gun reform in the United States is that it's not regulated on a federal level. Each state regulates its own concealed carry or weapons laws.
Right.
And it varies from state to state. And why? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. There should be a federal standard, because of the interstate commerce clause and guns traveling across the country,
right,
as a consumer good. So, there should be more teeth in it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why. I'm not against enforcing it. I'm not against it at all. Like,
I have no problem with stopping someone from getting a gun that does not need to have a gun.
I've also heard that remainings of like COVID funding, is going towards like police enforcement and stuff like that, so they can also have like better training and such like that too. So
yeah,
we have little positive movements going on. I know there's this big defund the police like thing going on, but I think it's not defund. It's more like, yes, fund them so they can get the proper training. That's what I'm looking for. It's like I want them to be properly trained. I don't want less police on the street. I want better police on the street.
Okay, and here's where better training would come in. All right, because I'm going to ruffle some feathers with this, but I disagree with banning chokeholds.
Okay. Because
number one, there's no such thing as a chokehold. When you choke somebody, you use your hands.
Right.
And that's called an assault. So let's call it what it is. Bar arm holes, which what killed Eric Garner in New York, those officers should have consequences because that was an improper technique. It was harmful to the suspect.
Okay.
What's proper is called a carotid hold, which when done properly, and I've done this numerous times, and
it sounds like I have too,
never had an issue. So a carotid hold, it simply cuts off circulation to the brain where the person passes out. Once you release them, the blood flow returns, so they're not dead. You're not killing them.
They just pass. They
but
out.
Just those few seconds give you the opportunity and the advantage to get the suspect cuffed and the scene safe.
Yeah, because don't they pop right back awake, like right away?
I'm telling you, man, in less than 5 seconds, I've had people pop back away from me and the fight is back on again. So it comes down to training. Don't ban choke holds. Teach the carotid hold the proper way, and if you can't apply it, then don't use it.
Right. I want quality. That's all I want. I'm asking better quality policing. So that's fine.
When I was in the police academy, we practiced this shit every day.
I mean, you should be required to.
Months. We practiced this every day for safety purposes, for ours and the people we were arresting, because again, just the easier that you can get control of a situation, the safer everybody is in the long run. Because the idea is just to get your suspect in custody, and if they are resisting arrest, it is a very useful tool. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody on that, but I believe that. I'm alive today because of it, so everybody else is alive as well.
I mean, yeah.
Never killed anybody. Never sent anyone to the hospital from a chokehold.
As long as it's done properly.
I'm sorry, from a carotid hold.
Let's see, yeah, I almost got you. I mean, that makes sense. Like, teach the techniques properly. Like, with the work that I do with behaviors and, like, people with special needs, there are certain holds that you were trained to do and certain holds that are taken off of training because of the risk factor. I'm like, but we're still taught those techniques so we can keep everyone safe. I mean, that's simple as that. I mean, it should be a police thing. I mean, they're not really using their tasers quite well. I mean, they tased a 16-year-old kid the other day.
Again, when I was in law enforcement, I never carried a taser.
No, not at all.
Nope.
No, that's crazy. Yeah, no, there's a 16-year-old kid. I believe it was 16. He went into the girlfriend's backyard, and he clearly was on the phone texting. Like, not disturbing anything. Backyard camera on because of movement, everything. Cop comes around, around the corner with weapon out, aimed at the kid, and you can't hear audio, but he's yelling, and the kid's being a kid and not listening.
Yeah.
Texting away, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The cop put in the report that it looked like he just finished breaking in and tased him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, honestly, I remember back when I was 16, I wanted to go over to sneak into my girlfriend's house, you know, whatever, come and hang out, all the nonsense. But, like, I remember those days. Like,
right.
He literally was there trying to go and hang out with his girlfriend. He's texting her in the backyard. And he gets tased.
You know, yeah. I'm sorry.
Full uniform sheriff, too, I believe.
That's just somebody that likes to be aggressive with their toys.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it is with guns in general. People just want to be aggressive with their toys and show it off.
Well, yeah, you know, again, just using what's called, like, the term control holds. Control holds, yes. Whether it be a wrist lock, an armbar lock, just a control hold. That is the minimal amount of force necessary to use to get on a situation and keep everybody safe.
Right, and some of the techniques I'm taught, you don't have to be a big person to be able to do it, and it works.
No, you don't. And again, I was a police officer in a city in Los Angeles County back in the 80s. I never shot anyone, and I never harmed anyone to the point where they needed to be hospitalized.
Hey.
Unless they needed it.
Them some tough times in the
There
80s.
is a story, but that's not for the radio.
Let's talk basketball. Something a little lighter, you know?
We're down to the Final Four, you know?
I think last we talked, was it Lakers series? Was it Denver series after the sweep? It was quick. They swept Denver, right?
Yes, they did.
And now it's 2-1. They're against the Clippers. You know, Game 3, with Chris Paul being sick, and, you know, they're traveling. I didn't want to say expected them to lose it, but I give them a pass for losing it. Because CP3 being sick, you know, get him out there, get him conditioned, go play a game, CP3. Campaign did get hurt, sure, Campaign take a day, rest, you know, whatever, come back and play. You know, it seemed like everyone was a little off. Booker wore his mask, you know, first time wearing the mask. I think, honestly, somebody tweeted it, too. He should have wore a headband with it. Yeah. He didn't put a headband on with it, like Rip Hamilton did. The headband would be key. Yeah. But, you know, they stuck with them. The role players kept us in the game. They did. Booker and CP3 were, like, 2 for, like, 20 or something like that. They weren't really too great. And the role players. They had
one of those poor shooting days.
Yeah, and those are the Suns' losses. Like, I've told you, we've seen Suns wins, and we've seen Suns losses. That was a Suns loss. Like, okay, boys, walk it off, whatever. You know, they're supposed to win at home anyways, right? So, let's try to steal one next time, you know?
Well, you know, I believe with coming back for Game 4, CP3 will be rested. He probably still won't play as many minutes, but I don't see Phoenix being such the better team that Phoenix will come back home 3-1 and close it out here.
I don't see Booker or CP3 having the same game they had last time.
No.
It hasn't happened twice before.
No.
Knock on wood. We're big karma people, but but I had not seen them have 2 bad games in a row like that before. Ooh, there's some good stuff.
Yeah, it is.
But Eastern Conference, the Hawks, man,
1-0.
Surprise factor, aren't they?
You know, Trae Young is showing the league he is somebody that I recognize.
Bro, he just got to change his hairstyle, man. That's all I ask for him, bro. Just got to get a different hairstyle. You know,
that's what it is. He has his opponent mesmerized because of the hairstyle. They can't focus on the game.
No, I don't know. He's fast, man. But what I'm thinking is, like, the young teams are playing well in these, like, long, excruciating playoffs. They're the teams that are bouncing back, getting back up after their hits, and continuously playing their game. Like, these young teams are showing that they're the future. You know, I'm excited for NBA basketball.
You know, that duo of Young and Collins is proven to be something to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The Hawks they're a shock factor. They are. And I feel like if it is a Suns-Hawks final, it's going to be a shock factor for the Suns because they haven't played a young team like them.
Well, I tell you what I like about Atlanta and their style of play is they try and play above the rim.
Yeah.
You know, they're up there. And I'm sorry, but you cannot leave Trae Young standing on the 3-point line for seconds and, you know, doing his Dexter calculations, you know, for
let
that
alone from
3-point
the
shot.
fucking logo. You can't just play the man at half court. Pick him up.
Right.
Like, honestly, I know he's running you out of the gym. Like, yo, that man's fast. But
Yeah.
I see, when it's Suns and Hawks, I can see Campaign playing him. I've seen the Suns play small with Chris Paul and Cameron Payne. I can see Campaign coming out and matching up with Young.
Yeah, definitely. Without a doubt. Again, I think when it comes down to the guard play, you can't take anything from Trae Young. But as a squad,
Right.
Phoenix has the facilitators.
Yeah, but right now, Clippers fans know they're not taking this win, the last win, for granted. You know, I see on Twitter some of them are like, "We know we won this game, but the role players kill us." It's like that's what it was. It was all role players last game, so they know to look out for Booker and CP3 the next game also.
Yeah,
and like I said, the Eastern Conference, I don't know. Giannis has got to do something big to beat these Hawks because they've already stolen one away. So that's all they needed to do. They've done it.
You better defend the rim because that's where they play.
Milwaukee has to win one in Atlanta or it's over, man. Atlanta's moving forward with that one. But I'm excited. NBA basketball, it's coming up great. The finals are getting closer and closer.
And it's a new crop playing, you know, thank God for some freshness in the league.
You know, we all love LeBron James in our own way, shape, or form. But, yeah, I'm happy that we are having a LeBron list / Kevin Durant list / James Harden. And all those superstars aren't even on the stage right now.
Right.
Besides Giannis.
Right.
I would say. Giannis is in the superstar
And he's
category.
young.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, he is. He's young. They're talking about the David-Goliath matchup between them, but David struck first.
Yep.
All right. You ready for this lightning round thing you wanted to try?
Well, I think we did it already.
Did we basically?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I think it's time to talk about maybe paying yourself and
oh yeah, that's right. It's
following
Friday.
the trends that we were seeing as far as especially the news we heard about the merger between True Leave and Harvest, right?
Yeah. Even the Motley Fool is talking about the merger being something pretty good, like pretty good for the future of cannabis. True Leave owns 50%. They said of the market alone.
Yeah,
like 50% alone, and they bought out. Harvest, who doesn't have the same abundance, but they have the quality for sure. You and I, we visit Harvest.
Yeah,
I love Harvest.
They were quoted as saying that True Leave is the 800-pound gorilla in the room. So
oh man, the 800-pound gorilla in the room, tearing our limbs off.
and you know what he eats? Whatever he wants.
Man, all right. So they had majority of Florida, like we talked about, majority of the East Coast, but mainly Florida locations. Started branching out, but they needed something West Coast, and that's when they bought out Harvest. But you and I are in on Harvest, but we're waiting for that merger to see what happens with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so the cool thing about that is that Harvest has the majority of dispensaries here in Arizona.
Right.
So now that True Leave has bought out Harvest, industries, they now have the majority of dispensaries in Arizona too.
Yeah, true that. I think we're gonna start seeing name changes.
Definitely. What they say, they anticipate profits going up $6 billion.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
man.
Again, True Leave is trading at about $39 right now, and Harvest is trading at about $4.25, somewhere in that range. So there's still room to jump on that train.
Yeah, pay yourself. Get out there and do it. I've fallen from my third floor. The market kind of had a little roller coaster ride within the last week, but I'm heading back up right now, doing well.
Yeah, definitely doing better than we got punched in the gut the past couple of weeks.
Asian tech is doing pretty good too right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. They're moving on up too. I'm telling you, man.
There's a lot of opportunity out there.
Hey, Tencent coming out with a bunch of Pokemon stuff. Like they're on their wraps. They're trying to do their own streaming service. You know, Tencent is making its market out there in China right now. And they're developing it.
Again, they have now the streaming rights of the NFL to show the NFL games in China, and the Hall of Fame game is the first game in August, and so you know that's going to be the first one to be streamed. So I believe get in now while they're on sale.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, absolutely. While they're on sale, for sure. Like, I think football needs to be introduced to the world. I don't think it should just be an American sport. I feel like it's so weird that it's just an American sport. Football Americanos, or whatever, you know, it's called throughout the world. But I feel like it really should be something that the world should do. I mean, there are Canada teams, I'm sure, or something like that.
There's Canadian football. The rules are a little different. The field is a little different. It's longer and wider, and they have 3 downs versus 4, and you got to go 15 to get a first down instead of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's different.
It is different, man. It's extremely entertaining, and there's. I as a matter of fact, I knew I had a buddy that I worked with, who was drafted. He went to Washington State and got drafted.
Okay.
By the Bengals.
Hey, all right.
And did a little time in the Canadian Football League and retired with the Raiders. And
pretty cool.
Cool dude.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
We got all our topics down, I think. We kind of hit the nail in the coffin. We're getting close to our time, but we have about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I kind of want to talk about, hit us up on Twitter. Get out there. If you're a social media bug, try to socialize with us. I try to hop on Twitter every now and then to say hello to people, retweet some topics that we want to talk about, or even just see what others are talking about out there. So it'd be really awesome to maybe bring some listener topics on.
That would be a way to interact with us daily during the week in between shows.
Yeah, so, if you want to follow us on Twitter, get out there and find us. It's, what is it? Is it I can't remember what the handle is.
At Hanging Uncle.
At Hanging Uncle, that's right. Follow us on at Hanging Uncle. Say hello, tweet at us, share something with us. We'll try to get some social going on. We want to interact with you guys because we love having followers. It feels cool.
It does. It's good to have grown to this point. We're not like, world famous. We're not doing any shows, but
it's cool that people are listening to us talk.
Yeah.
It feels like they're here with us, hanging.
So, honestly, there's a feature that, we can look and see where a majority of listeners are from. And honestly, it shows they're from Ohio.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Shout out to those who are in Ohio.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your support.
Hey, cheers to you. That's really cool. I don't know anybody in Ohio. Honestly.
I don't either, but thank you for the love. We definitely appreciate it.
Here's one to you, honestly.
Yes. Fire away. Fire in the hole.
Again, like and subscribe to us. We have YouTube. We're on Spotify,
Twitter, Facebook, and you can even reach out to us at our email at hangingwithuncle@gmail.com.
Man, it was a good show.
Yes, it was.
I'm glad that everything's looking, great. Did we talk about Chauvin?
No, we didn't.
We didn't.
We have a minute left, too.
I was about to say, we have a breaking news thing to talk about. Derek Chauvin was convicted finally of murder.
And
20
today.
Today, 22 and a half years in prison. Thank God.
Justice has been served. It's not my place to judge. I was not in the courtroom. I didn't see one shred of evidence except for what they showed on TV.
Not much evidence you need when you've seen.
Right.
You were there. It seems like you were there.
Now
watching the video.
Now it's time to move on.
And also, shout out to those who are willing to get out and record. Honestly, without the person who recorded the scene, first off, this would have just been another case.
There were multiple people, so to everyone out there who was civically engaged to point out the wrong in our public servants that are there to serve us.
Thank you.
All right. So, again, I'm Gene.
And I'm Zane.
And thank you for hanging with Uncle.
See you guys next time.
Bye.